So hi friends, welcome back to our coding series. Now today is day 3 and I wanna cover two important questions another. So before moving to the video friends, I will basically thank you all of you for liking this series, and many students are liking this series and positive feedback is getting. So that is basically motivation for me to uploading such type of important content. Now friends, before moving to that, again I'm saying must know how to take input. Okay, this is the one of the important things in the TCS exam, and I am repeatedly focusing on this. Why? Because question will not be at that much level, but if you don't know how to take input now, then it is very hard to crack this exam, or it is hard to pass test cases. So again saying, you can go through our video related to the input problem and how to take input. Okay, so let me come to the questions for the today. And today I come with two wonderful questions. So first important question is, which I have already given you, that is the vehicle manufacturing calculation. So I have given you the homework, and very few candidates have basically given me the code. So please friend, again I'm saying, keep engaging in this series so that you will we get idea and you will become confident. So आप लोग comment जरूर करें that what are the solution you are getting as a homework. If you are not getting, no need to worry, we gonna discuss now. So coming to the questions, what is the problem statement? An automobile company manufactured two-wheeler. We are representing in a short version as TW, and four-wheeler, that is FW. The factory manager need to determine how many vehicles of each type should be manufactured using the following information. So you have to take input that total number of vehicles manufactured, that is the two-wheelers plus four-wheeler, means factory manufacturer have to get the information about this, that कितना total number of vehicles manufacture हो रहा है. Now coming to next, that is W, total number of vehicles among all vehicles. Alright, so this is the total number of vehicles manufactured, and W is total number of wheels among all vehicles. So W will represent wheels and V will be vehicles. So each type of, means there is two category of vehicles: a two-wheeler which obviously have two wheels, and four-wheeler which will be having four wheels. Now using the given value of V and W, calculate number of two-wheelers and number of four-wheelers. So this is our scenario, and you can say this is the thing which we have to find. So number of two-wheeler and number of four-wheeler. Now one of the important scene that you should note, that if the value do not produce valid non-negative integer, print invalid input. That is the edge case you have to handle. So again saying, before moving to that, try to solve by yourself. Okay, if you are getting the solution, fine, no issue. If you are not getting the solution, then come to our solution and go through it very carefully. Okay, so I will discuss all the solution: Python, Java and C++. So first go and do this. Again saying friend, just watching this video will not sort out your problem. You have to solve your question by own. Okay, so that is the important things. Now coming to some constants. So V will be 1 to 1000 and W will be 1 to 4000. So time and space frequency will not be an issue for these things. Okay, now very important point, that is the input formats, and that is the reason why I'm telling you repeatedly that go and check this video how to take input. Now question is not so much lengthy, or you can say it is not so much hard, but main things or main gist of coming with this question is to input scenarios. What is the input format? First line will be integer V, total vehicles, and second line will be W, total number of vehicles. Now you have to basically, this is the output scenario, that either print number of two wheelers and number of four wheelers or invalid input. So scenario I've given. If you are getting the non-negative value, then you will basically print the invalid input. Means if you are getting negative value, we will print the invalid input. Now what are the mathematical approach I am going to use for solving these questions? So let TW equal to number of two wheelers and FW will equal to number of four wheelers. Now we know that two wheeler plus four wheeler equal to vehicles. That will be obviously कि total कितना आपका vehicles हुआ, you will just sum it up ना, two wheeler plus four wheeler, this is vehicles, and wheel obviously two wheeler will have two wheels, so 2 into TW, and four wheelers have four wheels, so 4 into FW. So this is the scenario of vehicles, wheels. Now coming to the equation, if you will solve this equation, then you will get from first equation TW equal to V minus FW, means we are just sending FW to right hand side, so V minus FW, and we will substitute into second, means just put the value of TW in the equation second. This is the equation second. Now putting that 2 VW minus FW, after solving this you will get FW, that will equal to W minus 2V by 2. So this is the mathematical intuition you will be getting. So again saying, FW and TW, you should not be confused. TW means total wheels and FW means four wheelers. Okay, so you can go with this. V means total number of vehicles manufactured, and W means total number of wheels among all vehicles. Okay, and you can go through it. And FW means four wheeler and TW means two wheeler. So don't confuse with abbreviation. Now coming to this, so you got the solutions. Okay, so FW means four wheeler will be W minus 2V by 2, then TW, that is two wheeler, equal to V minus FW. Just if you are not getting the equation, then just revise this concept. These are the basic mathematical concept. Now validity check, this is the edge case you have to handle, that if in means the input is invalid if W is odd, or FW or TW is negative, or FW or TW is not an integer, or wheel less than minimum or greater than maximum possible value. So this is also an important scenario you have to consider in mind. Now let me come to the solutions of this. Again saying, before moving to or jumping the solution, make sure to solve by yourself and get intuition by yourself. Okay, now hashtag include iostream using namespace standard, so I'm including the library for taking the inputs. Now int main int v and w means taking the v and w. Okay, that is the vehicles and wheels. Now this is the validation check, or you can say edge case, that if w mod 2 not equal to 0, or w less than 2 into v, or w greater than 4 into v, means these all are invalid case na. So we will consider this as invalid input and we will return 0. Now coming to this, means how we will calculate the total number of wheels and FW. So FW we have already calculated the formula, FW equal to W minus 2 into V by 2. Okay, we got there na. And TW V minus FW. So TW V minus FW, just putting this. Now if TW less than 0 or FW less than 0, again this is the scenario that if it is less than 0, so it can't be less than 0 or it can't be negative value. So we will output as invalid input, otherwise C out TW and FW means total wheels and FW you will get. So this is the important, means two wheelers and four wheelers you will get. So this is the important solutions, and I think it is quite easy. So let me give the code and let me try on these things. Okay, so coming to sample input, you can go through it. Input suppose 200 and 540. So if you will put into the solution now, you will get output as 130 and 70. Why? Because TW, that is the two wheelers, and FW four wheeler. Now if you build substitute and you put the value in this equation, then you will get four wheelers, that is FW equals to 70 and two wheeler equal to 30. Okay, let me zoom it more. So FW equal to 30. Similarly, coming to sample example 2, which will be invalid input. So if you are putting 100 and 301, so is this possible? No, because in vehicle it can't be having the, you can say, odd number value or odd value. It should be even na. So invalid input. Why? Because two wheeler must be even, but 301 is odd. And this is even, that is fine, but 301 odd. So this is not possible. So this is a scenario. Let me try on this thing. So our input is 200 and 540. So coming to first solutions, so I am taking all these things. Now let me run this. So what was our scenario? 200 and 540. Let me check with this. 200 and 540. So yeah, you are getting the value 130 and 70, which will be your solution, isn't it? 130 and 70, that is the two wheeler and four wheeler. Let me check the invalid input to 100 and 301, or any odd value you can give. Okay, so let me run this again. So 100 and 301, which is odd value. So this will give as invalid input. Why? Because odd value is not possible. Got it? So these were our first questions. Must comment that whether you able to solve this question or not, and whether you are getting my all those things which I am explaining. Okay, again saying, friends, if you haven't started the coding, must start the coding, because coding play a critical role for the digital and prime role. And you know, this year there is no ninja role, so you have to go through it. You can follow just our series. Okay, so today is day 2 and day 3, and day 2 already I provided solutions PDF. You can go get all that in the description. So start preparing, again saying, friends, and give your 100% for this NQT exam. Okay, and many of the candidates are asking that whether it is sufficient to solve, or whether it is sufficient time we are getting for practicing for NQT 2026. So yeah, you are getting sufficient time. Just be positive, try to solve at least 2 to 3 questions, either you are beginner or pro. Keep solving, and again saying, start coding from the scratch. Don't use any online ID. You can use online compiler and start writing the code from the beginning. Okay, so from the beginning you have to write, means I will just remove all those things and start from first line of code, because in TCS you will get these things. So start including library, taking input and all those things. That will be good. Let me move to next question without wasting our time. Okay, coming to our next question, this is also very okay, but before moving to that, let me discuss you the Java solution. So import java.util.scanner, public static void main, and taking the input, then taking the v sc dot next int and w, that is sc dot next int. Now again using the same condition and calculating the value, that is fw equal to w minus 2 into v by 2 and tw equal to v minus fw. Now handling the edge case or the invalid input, that if tw means total wheel less than 0 or fw four-wheeler less than 0 means two-wheeler and four-wheeler less than 0, then it will be invalid input, otherwise just I am giving the output. Coming to Python solution, so again taking the value of v by int input this and checking the conditions of invalid input, else this will be your valid input, or I am just putting the formula and printing the two-wheeler and fw. So before moving to the time and space complexity, must comment that what do you think, what will be the time complexity and space complexity? I am giving you 2 seconds. Yeah, you are right. So time complexity will be order of 1 because we are not traversing any loop and just we are calculating that, and space complexity will be order of 1 again because we are not using any space here. Okay, no any extra space are being used, just we are declaring some variables and all those things. So only arithmetic operations are performed here and no loop or extra memory structure are used. That's why space complexity will be order of 1. So keep engaging in this video and comment here so that you will be basically become confident. Okay, let me move to second question, and this is also one of the most repeated question in TCS NQT. I have seen this question in TCS NQT 2023, 2024, 2025, and I think in 2026 too you will be getting these questions. Means you will not get direct question that find duplicate elements in array, but you will get these type of question. They might give you descriptive question that Syam is doing these kind of things and he have to get the duplicate value, means he have identified some false element and he have to get the duplicate value. So how will you get that? So main gist of question is this, that is you have to find duplicate element in an array. So you are given a list of integer as input in a single line separated by space. This is again in very scenario that I was talking, that input scenario. So here they have said that you are given a list of integer input in single line separated by space, and your task is to print all the elements that appear 2 or more times in the array. And simply you have to find the duplicate elements in the array. Now what are the requirements? So input is taken as single line of space separated integer. This is very again saying important. Okay, and again saying friend must go to the input scenario video. Okay, that will be really helpful for you. So input is taken as a single line of space separated integer, and you have to just print the duplicate element in ascending order. Okay, now each duplicate element should be printed only once. That is very important scenario, that you can't print the duplicate element twice. आपको एक element को एक ही बार print करना है. Okay, and if no duplicate exist, print nothing, or you may print no duplicate based on requirement. So you have to basically go through the question very carefully, that what they are actually asking, how we have to take input, how we have to basically give the output, and you have to manage all those things. So I think questions is clear now. Let me give example, then it will be more clear to you. So suppose I'm taking the input as 1 2 3 4 2 5 6 1 3. Now what are the duplicate element you think? Again comment here the duplicate elements. So yeah, you are right. So 1 2 times it is appearing, so it is duplicate element. 2 is also appearing 2 times, so 2 will be duplicate, and 3 is also appearing 2 times, so it will be duplicate element. So your output should be 1 2 3, and these all are other 5 6, these all are not duplicate elements. Okay, now friends, you might be thinking I am taking easy question, but as soon as we move forward for other days, you will getting more complex question. Okay, so I am just moving step by step so that you will not become, what can we say, tense, that I don't know coding and all those things. First just grasp the logic, and slowly you will get into the solutions and more complex question will become. Okay, no need to worry. I will basically make this playlist in such a way that you will become confident at the 20th day. Okay, so let me come to second example scenario, 5 6 7 8. So no output since no duplicates are there. Now before jumping to the solution, again saying go through a question properly, take screenshot and try to solve by yourself. If you are able to solve, then congrats, you are good, you are in a good positions, and keep solving other questions. If you are not getting, no need to worry, just go through these things what I am explaining. So what are the solution approach? I will just take the input and store the element in array list, and then I will use here hash map or map, or in Python dictionary, and I will basically print element whose frequency is greater than 2. So you can use many logic, okay, as you want, but I am using here hash map or map to conditions. And if you want, you can also do the brute force approach. That is, you will just count all the values, means of frequency of all those element present in the array, and you can just print those whose frequency greater than 2. So you can apply that approach too. Let me come to my approach. So coming to C++ solution, I am including bits std c++.h. Again saying friends, in your exam it might happen that you will able to include these things, या आप हो सकता है कि in some compiler you will not able to do things, means you will not able to include these library. So you have to manually import all those library which you are using. Suppose we are using the vector, then I will include vector, or hashtag include other things. So you have to include separately, and in most of the cases you will be able to use this universal library. So taking the input, string input, get line, scene input. This is the scene which I've already discussed in my YouTube video related to how to take input. Okay, so you can go through it if you don't know how to use the get line or string stream. So I'm taking the input, get line, scene input, and string stream means converting the input to string stream and storing the variable in ss. Now int num, declaring the temporary variable for taking the input. Now I'm declaring the new array, that is arr, and just taking the input. Again saying friends, इस question में you are not getting any extra thing, but main catch of this question is input scenario, how to take the input. That is important things. Okay, so now while ss num means जब तक आपका string stream में num रहेगा, you will just push into array. Now I am declaring the map which is will be int and just storing those value for int num in ar mp num plus plus. You can also use entire loop I0 to this one and you can store the value, but this is the shortcut things you can apply. Okay, now for auto ampersand it in mp means I will just traverse the map and I will check whether it.second is greater than or equal to 2. If it's so, then I will just see out the first, means you have to print what, the duplicate elements na. Just you can go through the question, you have to just print the duplicate elements. So I'm just outputting or just giving the value to this. So this is the approach. Let me first basically show you the dry run or running of this code. Let me compile this code and give me the means help you to find the output, and after that I will discuss the Python and Java code. So 1 2 3, you can say I am taking the continuous array, isn't it? So now you have to basically means here 8 is only the repeating element na, so 8 we are getting, got it. Now let me check with other scenario that no duplicate elements are there, 1 2 3, so it will print nothing, got it. So these were the simple questions, you have to go through it. Coming to Java solution, I am importing java.util library, taking the input scanner sc equal to new scanner system.in. Now input sc.next line and just splitting with this. Why we are using split, again I will suggest go through that input scenario. So I am using splitting here because I am just avoiding the space here. Okay, declaring the map integer map new tree map. Now for string num to nums, now just parsing the value, or means taking the value and putting into the map. Now again checking the same condition, that means just traversing the map here, and if entry.get value is greater than equal to 2, then I will just system.out or entry.get key, means you will get the key or you will simply get the element. So entry dot, in Java we will use dot get value to get the value of those particular element present in this map, and at last I will just using sc.close. So this is the Java solution. Coming to Python solutions, so this is also easy. I am just declaring the numbers and taking the input. Now I am declaring the frequency counter numbers and again checking if frequency of key greater than equal to 2, then I will print the keys. Okay, so this will be your approach and complete solution. Coming to time complexity, again I am saying must comment here the time complexity and space complexity before getting the solution. So time complexity will be O n log n. Why? Because of the sortings, and space complexity will be order of n because we are using map and we are storing those value. So this was the easy questions, and main things that you have understand in this video is how to take input and how to take the space separated input and how to use the map. So these are the concepts we have discussed in the today. I hope this will be informative video and informative session. If you like, again saying please like our session and share this video among your friend, and your one like will motivate me for pushing these important video on our YouTube channel. So please do like, share and subscribe. And bonus question, and that is your homework question. Again saying take bonus question very carefully and make sure to give the solution here in the comment, so that I will get to know that yeah, you are interested in these playlist and you are basically actually practicing. So what actually will be done after 20 or 15 days, you will become confident enough to crack this exam. So coming to bonus question, this will be a problem. So you have to just find the number of bays n people can occupy our seats, and these are the scenario, and I will provide these questions and all things in the description, so you can go through it. Okay, so hope this video informative to you, friend. Keep supporting us, and if you have any query, feel free to ask here. We are here to help you, and for getting important job update and coding series and other things, you can subscribe us. So bye, and meet you in the next video.